Hey guys, and welcome back to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and today I'm continuing my beginner challenges guide as we take on the Scoia'tael challenges we have here. So this is pronounced Scoia'tael, not Scoia'tael. That's what I thought it was when I first started, it's Scoia'tael. And for this, I'm actually going to be using my beginner monsters deck, which you'll find a deck guide for here on this very channel. So that's the deck we're going to be using against the defenders of Brokilon as we try and unlock ourselves some new leaders. So, where are we? Beginner weather, let's go. Okay, hint, wait until your opponent strengthens or boosts their units, then weaken or destroy them when the time is ripe. So let's get started against the Scoia'tael. So I imagine that this deck is going to be playing
nothing human.
Resilient dwarves and then trying to buff them up to keep them on the board. That's a really good beginner Scoia'tael strategy. And it's actually the one that we'll probably use in our Scoia'tael deck. In terms of the mulligan here, we don't want to find any foglets because we're going to be playing them with fog. So you want to mulligan them, even though he is premium. We're not likely to see weather, so we can also mulligan our Archgriffin. White Frost is a nice draw. We'll mulligan our other Archgriffin. And here we go. Okay, so we have Ice Giant, we have Ancient Foglet, we have Nithril. I'm thinking that a Frost strategy for this first turn is probably worth doing. We have a lot of Frost in hand, and we have, you know, cards that buff Frost and deal more damage with Frost. So we're going to open with an Ice Giant, just pop him down. We don't want to play our Frost until we see, you know, where our opponent plays their units, basically. I wanted to see where our opponent is choosing to place their units before we start playing our Frost. Unfortunately, she hasn't played any units yet, so we'll pop down Nithril. Nithril makes your Frost deal more damage, basically. Put him here in the middle. He's got 2 armor, so he's a little bit, you know, trickier to clear. Although she's going to play a Glace and just remove him. Will you just leave my units alone? Like, she has no chill, you guys. Absolutely no chill. Okay, I guess we'll just play Geralt for now.
Get this over with.
This gives us a decent number of points. We don't get his Brave effect, but there's nothing else we really want to play this round. Boost whenever you play a special card. And there is the unit. There's a protector. I think what we'll do then is we'll just Frost the back row, like so. It means that she's going to be less likely to play units in the back row, but as things currently are, that's fine. We can actually Scorch this and remove it, which could be a decent strategy, but to be honest, what we may as well do is play Imlerith, pop him down there, and then just target it there. And look at that, we've done 8 damage, plus the Frost does another 1. So we're winning by 8. She's placed another unit, so now we can play our extra Frost, and we'll Frost all 3 of the rows. So now everyone is frosted. And anything that she plays, obviously, is now under Frost, which is good. We could lock the Dolblathana Protector to stop it gaining strength when she plays special cards. That is an option, and it also gives us some more points on the board. We don't want to play Ancient Foglet until we play our Fog strategy, and there's not really much point in Scorching a 7. So let's just do that.
Tomfoolery, enough.
Okay, so now we can Scorch. We'd hit both of the 6s, but we'd also hit our own 6. So we'd remove 6 points from her, but we'd also, you know, remove some points from us, is the risk there. So it's a net gain of 6. And honestly, in this situation, we do want to win this round. We're quite committed, so I feel like maybe going for the Scorch is okay, but the problem is, like, later on, you know, I'm probably going to want to play the Scorch, you know, when they have more units. And because we have the Frost on the board, you know, removing 4 points per turn, what I actually am going to do, even though it's kind of a waste of Commander's Horn, is Toot Cleaver. And you can see there her units have gotten debuffed again.
Peace with humans? I buy that.
Okay, so we are ahead here. The problem is if we pass, she'll probably play another card and win the round, which is awkward, but we can't play Scorch, and we don't want to play Ancient Foglet, so we're going to just have to pass here and see what she does. All of her units have been debuffed again, which is nice. And she's actually chosen to pass, which works for us. Because going into this next round, like I said, we did want to have Fog as an option. So we'll get some cards. Royal Decree is nice. This will give us our last golden card, which I believe is Triss. The Archgriffin, not so useful, so we'll pop that out. Decoy, not so useful either, so that's something that we'll hold on to till the final round if we end up there. We'll pop our Ancient Foglet out for the time being. Now we can pop Dagon out. And we'll apply Fog to the front row. And in doing this, this should pull our Foglets out, which are a much better target for Commander's Horn, I might add. Unfortunately, it's not to be. I'm tempted to just play Decoy to kind of stall and see what she does. Basically, play Decoy and decoy a Foglet. It's such a waste, though. but it's going to buy us a little bit of time. And I think actually, you know, doing that, it's going to buff him by 3, so he's a little bit stronger. So we'll pop him back down. And we've got a little 5 strength Foglet now. Basically, the fog is removing, I believe, 2 points or whatever from the card there every time, which is nice for us. So we can't play Scorch because the strongest unit is on our side. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop Royal Decree. We'll pull Triss out. We'll put her in the middle row.
Strong magic.
And we'll target Eskel. I think this must mean that she has Lambert in hand.
A bit of respect.
There he is.
You're not talking to
and we can actually pass here because we're not going to Scorch ourselves because, you know, we don't want to damage our own card. And you can see that the fog is giving us a lot of value. And we've managed to win the round. And really pushing on that first round was key. You had to kind of decide when to push and when to not. Because if we didn't push on that first round, then we would have wasted a lot of cards. And then we would have been hard pushed to win 2 rounds. So that's something that you have to kind of identify with your decks. Is when you need to win a round and when you can kind of afford not to. Anyhow, we're going to jump into the next match. We got our ore, which is nice. So the Elder Alliance race with beginner weather. Hint, wait until your opponent strengthens your unit. So it's the same chip. Useful cards, Kieran, and Nature's Gift. And each time they're suggesting different useful cards, which is quite interesting. We'll kind of see how it goes.
There will be no negotiation.
Okay, I negotiate that you lose. I really want premium Dagon. Whenever you see the premium leaders, it's just actually, you know what, all the premiums look good. What have we got here? Okay, Fog, Frost, Giant. So we've got a Wild Hunt Hound, which means that we don't need to hold on to our Frost. I'm going to mulligan one of these Arch Griffins. Actually, no, we'll mulligan the Wild Hunt Hound first. Basically, the way mulliganing works, you blacklist your card. I have a whole video guide on that to check out, but effectively, if I mulligan the Archgriffin, I still have a chance to draw a Wild Hunt Hound, whereas if I mulligan the Wild Hunt Hound first, it means that I won't draw Wild Hunt Hounds here. And we'll get an Archgriffin, and then we'll get rid of a Foglet, because obviously we don't want them. And when you mulligan the Foglet, you know you're not going to get another one back. Oh, wait, I meant to mulligan the Frost and not the Wild Hunt Hound. Ugh. A little bit of a mistake there. So what have we got in hand? We've got a lot of Fog. We have some Frost effects. I think we'll go Fog strategies to begin with. So let's pop our Ancient Foglet out. He does risk being zapped. Okay, so it seems like our opponent has drawn Eskel and Lambert again. And you can tell this because obviously she's played one and it's not spawned the others. And they're all melee units, so we can afford to just do this and Fog the front row.
Everything all right?
Oh no, my Foglets. Rude. So the thing is with Fog is playing it on the first round is actually quite useful, because if you play it on the first round, then what you basically achieve is you pull the Foglets from your deck, so they're now in my graveyard, which means that I don't have to worry about drawing them on the next round. We'll play our Archgriffin here in the middle row. It's not going to remove any weather, because it removes weather on only its row, so we can afford to kind of just leave that. We're going to get lacerated again, but, you know, lacerate here is not really much of a problem. We could Royal Decree and pull Triss, but, you know, it's not that useful in this situation. So I think what we're going to do for the time being is just play Geralt and get ourselves, you know, a good chunk of points on the board. We've got lots of weather, so, you know, if she plays anything else, we can weather her. But as is, that's the round 1, so we can pass now. And then we can look into doing a Frost strategy as we go into round 2. So Archgriffin and a Hound. So the Hound will actually pull our second Frost. We've got 2. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to mulligan the Archgriffin. Oh, and that's unfortunate. We got another Hound, but there's not 2 Frost to summon. Saying that, what we can do is wait till the 3rd round and then mulligan one of our Frosts and pull it with the Wild Hunt Hound. So we do have options here. Now, I'm going first, so I'm going to open with my Ice Giant, because I don't want to apply weather to a row until she's played a card. And then once she's played a card, we can apply weather. But actually, as things currently stand, we have White Frost. We know she has 2 of those witches in hand. So what we can do, play the Wild Hunt Hound, which summons a Frost, and put it on this front row. So that then, if she does play her witches, you know, she's going to have to play them into Frost. Or she could, for some reason, play her Protector into Frost. I guess that's an option, if you feel that way inclined. Royal Decree should pull Triss. I don't think we need Triss just yet. I'm just a bit worried about Clear Skies, that's the only thing. But what we can do, I think, is Frost this middle row. And just Frost the entirety of her side for the time being. If she clears Skies, you know, she clears Skies. But this, I think, is a smart decision. So we'll play Imlerith, I think, for the time being. And we'll just take out the Protector, like so. It was going to take 1 damage per turn, so maybe not the greatest way to play, but, you know, getting points on the board is also useful. Let's play a Royal Decree into Triss, drop her down, and we'll target this one. and just kind of wait and see what she does.
Strength, my love.
There's a spy into special card.
Hi there.
For some reason, the AI thinks that Hawker support is more useful than removing weather, so that's a thing. That's the thing. And actually, because the back row isn't currently stacked, what I'm going to do is pop Dagon out, and I'm going to swap the frost on the back row for fog, because in doing this, I'll also pull my foglets back up. So if we fog the back row, that replaces the frost, but it also pulls the foglets out of the deck, and fog does 2 damage to the strongest unit, so because there's only 1 unit here, it's going to be taking more damage, which works quite nicely for us. So the problem here is all we have in hand is weather and 5 points. But the question is, will the 5 points win us the game? Because if the 5 points will win us the game, it's probably worth playing those 5 points. We are quite far ahead at the moment. But if we play them now, then it's not so useful. So I think what we're going to do here is just pass. If she wants to win the game, she's going to have to play a lot of cards. You know, we've got a lot of damage going on with our weather.
Let's enjoy the weather while we still can.
I stand corrected. All the weather has been removed.
So what's our plan?
I guess we just kind of stall it, but still, like, we're
Spy!
a decent number of points ahead. We're still 3 points ahead, so she's gonna have to play all of her cards if she wants to win the round,
before no one.
which we see there. And she had Saskia in hand as well, which is really annoying. Saskia, when you use your leader ability, she gets summoned, but because she had her in hand, obviously that didn't happen. Saying that, we're going into the final round with 4 cards, and she has none. We'll mulligan this frost because we can call it again with the Wild Hunt Hound.
Time of the white frost and white light.
Wow, so she gave me 2 points. In fact, we can pass here. We're just gonna win with the card that she played. That works too. She should have cleared Skies our weather. That would have been much smarter, but it is what it is. The AI, man. Not even once. Hey, we got some more. Okay. Now, the waters of Broccolon. Let's go. Beginner weather. It's not led me astray so far. Wait until your opponent strengthens, Kieran, Letho. So it's just recommending cards that deal damage, basically. You wait till your opponent buffs a card and then you debuff it.
Humans have no place in Broccolon.
Let's see what happens here. Now, often the third match can be quite difficult. Like, for example, when I did the Monsters challenge, you can see that on the channel. I definitely did struggle a little bit on the last match. Okay, so mulliganing. We do not need a foglet. So we want to blacklist that soon because then we won't draw extra ones. We have Wild Hunt Hound, so we don't want frosts in our hand, so we can mulligan one of those. I think holding on to 1 frost is okay, so let's get rid of one of these Archgriffins as well. And you can see we have, you know, the really good options for a frost strategy here in our hand. So, again, we're going to open with our Ice Giant that will invariably get
None
zapped.
shall tread on us.
Oh, it didn't happen this time. And now we can use our Wild Hunt Hound and play some frost on the front row. And that, you see, has buffed our Ice Giant.
None shall tread on us.
And she's stacking her commandos. This is a mulligan strategy in the front row. So what we're going to do, we're going to pop Nithril out. So now our frost does 2 damage per tick instead of 1. She's half the health of the Ice Giant, but honestly, it's not really the end of the world. What we could do is frost these 2 rows, or we could decoy him. If we decoy him, then it will, you know, give him his points back, basically. That's definitely an option. I don't want to go too hard with weather just yet, is the thing. We can summon Imlerith, but we don't really want to. I think we're just going to decoy this guy for now. Boost him, pop him back out, and then he gets the buff from the frost again. And our opponent has chosen to pass. So that's good for us. And then we go into round 2. And we're not really at too much of a card advantage, disadvantage. We have 1 card disadvantage, which is okay. We have 2 fogs. We don't really need 2 fogs here, so we're going to mulligan the not premium one. Oh, and we drew a foglet. That's unfortunate. And that is something that can happen if you don't play fog in the first round. I think because of that, what I might do is go for a frost strategy this round. We're opening, so I think what we'll do is we'll open with Archgriffin, just to see where they play their units before we decide how we want to target them, basically. And I think what we can do now is we can play the White Frost on the front row, and this will hit the front and middle row, and get them weathered, basically. Which gives us, you know, nice options with Imlerith, should we choose to play it. So I can mulligan the Foglet next turn. That is something to be aware of. But if we draw a Wild Hunt Warrior, I think we just play the Foglet for now. Because we could also mulligan the Frost if we draw a Wild Hunt Warrior. And this just gives us a little bit of time. Wow, Commander's Horn on 1 unit. That is interesting. So this means that we can roll Decree now and pull Triss. We'll pop her down in the back row. And we'll target this Commando Neophyte and just bring him down a peg.
Humans have no place in Brouver.
I think my, oh, the double commander's horn on a single unit. I'm quaking. I think we're just going to Imlerith this round, you guys. We'll just take out her commander neophyte and try and force it to play some more units into our weather. There we go, thank you. Are we delaying? This is the question. I think we're going to fog the back row. This will pull our foglets out, to be honest. And, you know, it just gives us a bit of time to see what she's doing without playing our big power swing cards like Dagon and Geralt. So that is the kind of strategy that's going on here. She's on 21. We can reapply Frost, but it means we have no weather for the final round. But final round doesn't have that many turns, so having no weather is actually okay. So I think I'm just going to refrost this row, basically. And kind of see what she does.
I hate you! Curse you, Dwan!
Because the other thing is, if we can get more cards on, you know, pints out on her side, then we're going to get more value out of our different cards. Move a random unit on another row on this side to this row. So she's going to pull all the units onto this row, basically, which isn't that useful. I don't think she's going to get enough points ahead of us for us to actually get the bonus from Geralt. Like, she'd need to be 10 points ahead of us for us to get 13 on Geralt. So let's just play him.
You'll be fine.
Frost? Okay. You're gonna kill my foglet. I'm not really worried about her killing my foglet, to be honest. So, we can get another 7 points and fog the middle row, and then pull our foglets to there. So, but we've already got our foglets in the back row, so actually that's not really helpful. So we'd only get 7 points. The question is, does she have more than 12 points in 2 cards? The answer is probably. So I think now we're gonna tactically pass. All our units keep getting frosted, and they're going to get another frosting even when she plays, say, Synthesis. So, you know, this is okay for us. It's 1 card to 1 card, but ours is the leader ability. And she has to go first, which means we're playing reactively, which is, in my opinion, in the final round better, because it means if you top deck something like a Scorch, you know, it's pretty nice. Archgriffin, we could mulligan, but if we draw weather, then that's a little bit awkward. I'm just trying to think what we can draw that would be better, but actually I think this is fine. I think we want to keep these 7 points. Like, having 14 points going into the final round is pretty nice. So, we'll put Dagon out, put him in the front row. And I think we'll play Fog or Rain, because, you know, it's better to do lots of damage to one unit, because she's not likely to have that many units. And Fog is a better pick, because it pulls our Foglets, basically. And we're Gucci, we win. So we'll pop this out. Clear no weather. Kill their unit and win the game. And that was very, very doable with this weather deck. This weather deck does seem quite good in the challenges. This is the first time I've actually played it in challenges, because obviously you can't play Dagon until you unlock Dagon, so I played Northern Realms in the other challenges. But I'm trying to show you guys that you don't necessarily have to have the bestest cards just to unlock leaders. Saying that, they do play a bit weird, and they seem to have strange decks that don't mulligan, you know, the cards that they should be, so they're not really getting their combos. Anyway, we'll keep going with the weather deck, and we'll try and unlock Brouver Hoog. I love me some Brouver Hoog. So let's jump into the game here. So this is going to be a dwarf deck, I'd imagine, which, like I said, it has those units that stay on the board. The previous deck seemed to be a special card elf deck, so this should be the dwarf deck. Okay, what have we got? So we've got 2 Wild Hunt Hounds. It's just 2 ices or frosts. We've got an Ancient Foglet. We've got a couple Archgriffins. So we can get rid of the Archgriffins. And the Foglet. There we go. And with the 3rd mulligan, if you haven't drawn a Foglet yet, it's sometimes better not to make the 3rd mulligan and just to hold on to the Foglet. That is honestly a viable
Don't worry
option.
about me.
Okay, so it looks like she's going to move units to the back row, because that's what this does. So it's going to start stacking all the units on the back row. I think what we'll do is we'll just open with a Frost, and we'll pop it on the back row. Basically, because she's going to pull everyone over there. So if we can start dealing damage to that row, you know, that's pretty good for us. We've also got Nithril in hand, so we'll pop him down as well to start dealing more damage with our Frost. And we've also got Imlerith, so we can start to, you know, clear this super buffed unit. It doesn't really matter. We'll pop our Ice Giant out for now. And, you know, he's nice and happy with his 10 points. This is going to randomly get moved to the back row, so, you know, we'll pop this one out as well. Back it goes into the Frost. And this is kind of working in our favor. What I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to use Imlerith, but I'm not going to target this 20 strength unit. I'm going to target this unit because it has resilience, which means it gets kept on the board at the end of the round. We'll pop him in the middle row. we'll target this guy and just kill him. And then everyone is very happy, and our opponent has passed. So we do risk drawing foglets here. That is something that could happen because we haven't played fog. But we do have 1 mulligan, so hopefully, you know, we don't draw 2 foglets. As it is, we didn't draw any, so we risk mulliganing into a foglet here. But we're going to get rid of the Archgriffin because they're not going to be playing weather in a Scoia'tael deck, so we don't really need it. And you can purposely cater your deck to the challenges. Like, you could take out the Griffins and put in more weather units because you know that you're not going to need them in this situation. We're going first, so let's pop our foglet out for the time being. Like I say, I want to wait until I see where they're playing their units before I apply weather. As it is, front row, so out comes our foglet. And this is going to start debuffing the strongest units on that row, which is, you know, really nice for us. So the cow, when it dies, it spawns a chort. A chort is a 6 strength unit, I believe, that if they're behind becomes a 10. Which is kind of annoying, but, you know, not really the end of the world. For the time being, I'm going to White Frost the middle row, because this will hit the middle and back rows. So then their entire, you know, map is weathered. So then if she plays more cards, they'll get removed. I don't want to Scorch because that'll hit my foglet, but really what I wanted to do was get more weather out to see if this person has a clear skies. Because if they have a clear skies, I'm not going to want to Commander's Horn my foglets because they'll just get cleared.
Any last words?
We'll play Geralt now, even though it's only a 10, because like I say, she's not really that far ahead of me. Or behind me. Like, I don't feel like she's going to catch up, so I feel like this is a wise decision. The fact that she hasn't cleared the weather yet makes me feel quite safe to do this. Though the AI does, you know, sometimes play quite funky, and that's something that's worth being aware of. We could play our Wild Hunt Hound, and that'll pull out another Frost. And it will give us 5 points. I think the fact that we're, you know, 38 points ahead at this kind of stage of the game makes me happy to do that. So we'll play the Wild Hunt Hound, and then we'll just refrost the middle row. We don't want to frost the front row because that was going to get rid of our foglets. So we're kind of just going to make do with the card that we have here. We are 12 points ahead in 2 cards. So I feel like we're comfortable to win the last round if we pass now. So let's just pass. I mean, she's still getting, you know, damaged every turn. And she doesn't have that many points. Like, she's still behind here by quite a lot. 7 because of all the weather. So as it is, we managed to 2-0 this round. And the thing here is, like, you can see the power of weather if people don't have removal. And this is why I tech removal, weather removal, into all of my beginner decks. Because it's just kind of depressing when you're kind of sitting there and there's nothing you can do. Her alternative would be to pass early. If you pass early, that, you know, means that those weather cards have been used up and they don't get as much power. So that's, you know, something else that you can do. But if you let it go on and on for long rounds like that, then it's much harder to deal with. So let's go and we'll see how this next deck comes. But so far this has been, I think, a relatively easy challenge in comparison to the monsters one. Alright, let's see what we've got. Oh my god, did we just draw 3 foglets? We did! This is an unlucky mulligan, so we're just going to get rid of these. Like, all of them. Do not want. We do have a ancient foglet, though, and a fog card, so we can open with this. She drew Saskia, which is awkward, or she played her... No, she played her leader there, and drew Saskia. Okay, so this round... I was going to say, this round is going to be quite tricky because she's got a lot of points on the board to get to start with. So what I'm going to do for the time being is open with Geralt. If we can get Geralt on the board like that, then it allows us to catch up a little bit. Then we're going to play our Wild Hunt Hound, which is going to pull Frost from our deck, and we'll pop that into the back row. Because then we can target draw Imlerith with the Royal Decree. And by doing that, we will be able to target Yarpen there and stop him from getting too big, because he's resilient, he's staying on the board, and that's not so fun. So he's down to 6. We can also hit him with the Archgriffin, not with the Archgriffin, with Triss, and that'll kill him. The other thing we probably want to do is we want to frost these guys so that they start getting damaged, and the sooner we do that, the better. But the risk is if we don't kill Yarpen, she'll buff him again, and if she buffs him again, we won't be able to kill him. So I think for this turn, we're going to take out the Yarpen, and then on the next turn we'll White Frost the other 3 rows. That was a weird position. She should have placed this over here so that it boosted these neophytes. Don't know what's really going on with the AI and their unit positioning. They're definitely programmed a little bit weird in terms of how they play their cards, because obviously this buffs the units on its on its right, but she placed it next to 2 gold cards which aren't going to get buffed. So interesting. We'll pop our Archgriffin out here just for points. Obviously, the clear skies effect happens, but these guys are all getting debuffed now, which is really nice for us. And potentially what we can do is play our fog now, just to pull the foglets out of our deck. And I think we're actually going to do that. Pop that on the middle row, and then pull the foglets, because now we have 4 cards that we can Commander's Horn.
I can't be asked.
And this row is so stacked, but it's actually pretty good for us because it's taking a lot of damage. I'm going to Commander's Horn now, this row here, and take the 16 points. We're going to kill the cow, which will pull a Chort out, but it stops them from getting it onto the next round. There's the pass, and then we can pass. And comfortable win there for the first round. Right, what have we got? Giant, decoy. Honestly, like, this is good. I don't think we need decoy because we won't need to replay the ice giant or the foglet. So I'm actually happy to just, you know, pass that up for more units. We'll pop out our ancient foglet for the time being. I'm not going to put him in the back row because I don't want to stack the back row too heavily, as the ice giant is going to go there. That was rude. Okay, well, we'll play the ice giant and wait and see what our opponent does.
We ought to help one or the other.
So frost straight onto the middle row to start to debuff this unit. And we have another weather option with Dagon, but we probably want to play fog with him just to get our foglets out. So Archgriffin into the middle row, because we're not going to play fog on the middle row because we've already got frost there. We'll play him on the front or back row basically. So I'm just deciding exactly how I want to do this. And I think we're good to go for it here. How many points are we going to get? 7 and 6. Yeah, I think we're good to go for it. So we want fog. We want fog on the front row because that's going to put our foglets out there. I'm not entirely sure what the ambush card is, but I'm not really worried that it's going to catch us up. We're going to see what it was. We're never going to find out, you guys, because it didn't get triggered. But that's a comfortable 2-0 again, so we'll take that win. And that leaves one last match in order to get the shield wall here. Not the shield wall, the Brouver Hoog, and this is shield wall, so we'll see how this goes. We'll take our weather. Honestly, I feel like weather does work quite nicely against Scoia'tael row stacking decks, and that seems to be what this archetype is that they're showcasing. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with everything that's going on.
Nothing like a dwarf to get you to a tight spot.
What we got? I bet you I'm going first. I've gone first every single time so far. Okay, mulliganing. So we've got 2 hounds, which means we don't need any frosts. We can get rid of this foglet. We've got 2 fogs. I feel like 2 fogs is probably too many. So let's get rid of this fog as well. White frost is nice. I'm kind of happy with this, to be honest. Do we have anything good to decoy? We don't really have anything good to decoy, so I'm going to pass on the decoy for the time being. Ah, we got a frost. Annoying, but not the end of the world. So let's go fog strategy this time. We'll open with fog strategy because what it lets us do is well, clear basically. There's a unit. So we'll go with fog right on the front row. And that pulls our foglets out, and it's going to start to debuff the dwarfs that are likely to be seen there. I'm going to Scorch now. My Ancient Foglet's going to be earning points, so if I wait to Scorch, then I'll Scorch myself. But here I can remove their Resilient unit quite easily, so let's do that. And always make sure you check your points before you pop the Scorch, for example. Swallow Potion comes out. This is honestly fine. We've got Commander's Horn. We could play that on our foglets. The thing is, like I say, if they remove it, then, you know, we lose the Commander's Horn, but I feel like if you're going to remove weather, they would have done it. And I'm not even convinced that these decks run weather removal at this stage in the game. Like, they've been taking way too much damage. We could go for frost strategies as well, so I'm just wondering if we play Ice Giant here. The alternative is we can Triss and damage a unit, which is nice. I feel like this is fine. And then just see what they do. So we're going to target Dennis, because if we take him below strength, then the fog starts targeting the Commando Neophyte, and that'll start removing their points, which is pretty good. I think we'll pop out a Frost Giant. It just gives us some more points, and then we can play the Wild Hunt Hounds and pull a Frost out of our deck. And at this stage, it's now better to Frost this row, and the reason it's better to Frost this row is because now they've got 3 units on it, so the fog isn't doing as much as we would have liked, but it's actually going to despawn our foglets, so we don't want to do that. So let's just Frost this middle row. And that's something that you have to kind of think of, because it's very easy to kind of mess yourself up, and we would have actually lost 18 points had we done that. So fortunately, I realized it before I did it, and this is why talking through what you're going to do in this kind of way, like doing YouTube videos, actually is quite a good way to play because it makes me realize my own mistakes. This is a really nice hand. We're going to mulligan our Biting Frost because we have the Wild Hunt hound in hand. But basically we have a Frost round this round and we can go into the final round with a Fog round should we want. Although actually I'm going to start with the Fog round and I think we can, you know, just go all in on this round. So let's open with the Foglet. Oh, I should have probably put that in a different row because the Ice Giant's going in that row.
I've got to get this double chase.
Okay. So let's play our leader, wonderful leader. We'll play Dagon. It doesn't really matter here. And Fog the back row. Although in doing this, I can't clear whatever they play in this row with Frost because of what's going on. But actually, he's just moved them to random rows, so this works nicely for us. We will play Frost now with the White Frost and hit both rows, and that should, you know, kill them. And now Imlerith has lots of good targets to hit. Although for the time being, we're going to pop out our Ice Giant and just wait and see, because if I can get the maximum 8 damage, then that would be really good. So, you know, it's nice to have that option, which we do have. So we'll take this one out. And you can see here, like, we're a lot of points ahead, and weather is, you know, really working for us here. So I'm going to throw out my Hound. This will pull a Frost from our deck, which we will replay on this front row. It doesn't really matter where we put it. But I wanted the 5 points. I think it's enough to win us the game. Ooh, Fireball Trap. Damage all other units on the row by 3. Jesus, that was big. But not big enough. And that's why it's dangerous to stack a row, but there you have it. Just a clean sweep. And this is with my beginner weather deck. There's a guide to this deck on this channel. There's all the details if you want to run this deck yourself. But you can see just how clean and easy the deck was in this challenge. And, you know, there's nothing particularly exciting or special about this deck. There's no, you know, particularly expensive cards. The one that applies Frost to both rows, White Frost, is the most expensive card in the deck. But it fits into every deck because it's a neutral card, and not being able to just Frost 2 rows is, you know, generally useful. So it's worth kind of crafting. But that's about it in terms of this challenge. Let me know if you want me to do Nilfgaard monsters or... wait, I've done monsters. Nilfgaard, Skellige, or Northern Realms next time. But happily, we now have Eithné and Brouver Hoog, which allows us to play lots of different archetypes with Scoia'tael, which is awesome. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!